Welcome to This Explainer. I'm absolutely thrilled you're joining us today. We're taking a really fascinating look into the medical field. Specifically, we're focusing on those unseen experts who literally build our smiles. We're going to map out the entire journey to becoming a dental technician. We'll take all those dry logistics, like education, fees, and career growth, and turn them into a clear, inspiring roadmap. So let's dive right in.
Here's our agenda for today. We'll cover, is this for you? The educational pathway, fees and financial aid, the realities of the working world, and finally, your income and career growth.
Section 1. Is this for you? Building that personality foundation. Okay, so before we even think about diving into academic requirements or, tuition fees, we really need to ask a fundamental question. Do you naturally possess the traits that make a great dental technician? Because honestly, technical skills can totally be taught, but having a natural disposition for the work, that's what turns a basic job into a lifelong calling. There are 3 simple but absolutely crucial traits you need here. First up, you actually like helping everyone. At its core, this is a healthcare profession, right? Your work directly impacts a patient's everyday quality of life. Second, you like having clear instructions to follow. Dental technology is a highly precise science. It's based on exact prescriptions from dentists. No guesswork allowed. And third, you pay extreme attention to detail. When you're crafting a dental prosthetic, literally a fraction of a millimeter is the difference between a perfect bite and just terrible discomfort. So if you're detail-oriented, you thrive on following clear instructions, and you've got this genuine desire to help people, you've already got the core personality traits required for the field.
All right, Section 2, the educational pathway. Time to step up.
The very first requirement to even begin this path is completing your 10+2 education. But actually, it can't just be any track. You specifically need to be in the science stream focusing on physics, chemistry, and biology. This is what gives you the necessary scientific literacy to actually understand complex dental materials and human anatomy later on.
Now, your education here can basically scale directly with your ambition. It's a literal upward progression. Step 1 is typically a 2-year diploma in dental mechanics or dental technology. From there, you can move right up to Step 2, which is a 3-year undergraduate degree, like a BSc in dental technology. If you really want to specialize, Step 3 is a 2-year postgraduate degree. Think along the lines of an MSc in prosthodontics and Crown and Bridge. And for those of you who want to reach the absolute pinnacle of academia and research, well, Step 4 is a doctoral program taking 3 to 5 years, like a PhD in dental materials. The true beauty of this setup is that you can jump right into the workforce after Step 1, or you can go all the way up to Step 4. It's completely up to you. So, the crucial point is knowing where to look for these programs. To give you a good idea of where you might study, these courses are typically offered by departments of dental medicine. We've got a few indicative options spread all across India just to show how accessible this really is. For example, there's the Institute of Paramedical Science and Management in New Delhi, the Jan Shiksha Sansthan in Mumbai, and Amrita Vishwa Vidyapatam down in Kochi, Kerala.
Moving on to Section 3, fees and financial aid. Let's make the math beautiful.
We all know education is a serious investment, so let's break down the actual costs. Now, definitely keep in mind that these figures are indicative. They vary by institute, but they give us a really solid baseline. A 1-year diploma program is definitely your most cost-effective entry point. You're looking at somewhere between 20,000 to 100,000 rupees. Stepping up to a bachelor's degree bumps that annual fee up to between 50,000 and 3.5 lakhs. Just think of it as paying for those extra years of really intensive, hands-on training. Finally, a 2-year postgraduate degree, that's going to require an investment of roughly 1.5 lakhs to 5 lakhs per year. Now, if those higher numbers are making you a little anxious, don't worry. You absolutely do not have to shoulder these costs entirely on your own. There are robust, highly structured systems in place to help you bridge that financial gap. This all builds into a genuinely supportive ecosystem for students. Whether you're applying for scholarships through the National Scholarship Portal or maybe snagging merit-based scholarships directly from your institute, there is free money available for those who qualify. When it comes to loans, the government-backed Vijaya Lakshmi portal makes seeking education loans incredibly streamlined. On top of that, certain states like West Bengal, Odisha, and Bihar actually offer specific student credit cards with super low interest rates. And of course, all your standard banks offer education loans too. Funding your journey is highly accessible. You just need to know which levers to pull.
All right, Section 4, the working world. Let's talk about the realities of the job.
So, what does the day-to-day actually look like once you graduate? Well, you'll typically be working in hospitals or dedicated dental clinics. You can generally expect a standard workday of about 8 to 9 hours, working 5 to 6 days a week. Shift duties might apply, and it's worth noting that overtime is actually quite common in this field. That's definitely something to consider if you're dead set on strict 9 to 5 boundaries. But something that's incredibly uplifting here is how inclusive this field is. There are excellent, very real opportunities for differently abled individuals to absolutely thrive as technicians.
Finally, Section 5, Income and Career Growth, the tangible rewards. Your career trajectory in this field is remarkably clear, straightforward, and upward. You're typically going to start your journey as an assistant medical technician. Then, as you gain experience, perfect your craft, and prove your reliability, you'll grow into an executive medical technician role. That means taking on much more complex cases and even potential managerial responsibilities. So, what does all of this mean for your bank account? You can expect an approximate monthly starting salary ranging from 22,000 to 40,000 rupees. That gives you a really solid baseline to start building your life, with plenty of potential to grow as you climb that ladder we were just talking about. But numbers really only tell half the story, right? To move from abstract figures to a truly human experience, let's look at a real-world example from our source material. It perfectly highlights the kind of resilience a career as a medical technician can offer. Take the fascinating story of Mr. Pravin Chaudhary. Now, Pravin originally wanted to get into the police or the army. He stands over 6 feet tall, but unfortunately he couldn't clear the eye test. Keeping his financial condition in mind, he had to pivot, so he opted for a diploma in medical lab technology. He started a job, but after just a year, a severe accident tragically forced him to leave. Yet, because he had this solid vocational foundation to fall back on, he bounced right back after his recovery. He joined a pathology lab in his home state, and today he works with an NGO in the health domain while simultaneously running his very own collection unit. Pravin's story beautifully illustrates how vocational training in this field provides a deeply resilient career path. It gives you the power to pivot, overcome massive personal hardships, and build a truly meaningful, independent life in healthcare.
And just like that, we've reached the end of our journey today. We've covered the exact personality traits you need, the educational steps you'll climb, how to fund the whole shebang, and the real-world environment you'll be stepping into. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final vital thought to ponder. Knowing all the challenges and seeing the incredible rewards, do you have the focus and drive to take that first step? Are you ready to become the unseen expert behind a perfect smile? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Catch you next time.